Sports.
Enjoy the silence.
Sports. Von Allen Sports.
This is the man with the most badass name in sports, the Pharaoh, the Egyptian god himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And on behalf of my man Von Allen, we want to thank you for your support. Let's fucking go.
Von Allen Sports.
Okay, how's it going, guys? Been a while. So yeah. So I was just posting in the comments section here. So Psycho Mantis, because the draft's going to start. Okay, we all know the first pick. It's going to be Caleb Williams. It's going to go to the Chicago Bears. We've known this for ever, apparently, unless the Bears just. No, they're taking. So, not going to mess around with that. Not even going to waste time with that. But Psycho Mantis says Scott Zolak's been saying this all week that it's Drake May. Well, everybody says that the Patriots are going to take Drake May with the third pick. No, I'm actually going a different way. Okay, I agree that Drake May is a good pick. And if I had a pick between two quarterbacks, it would be Drake May and the other guy that I'm going to pick, and I'm going to say it's J.J. McCarthy from Michigan. And I think that the Patriots are going to go with another Michigan guy. Robert Kraft in general, I think, is going to be involved in this. I think he's going to have some input on it intimately, because that's exactly why they got rid of Belichick, was to maybe take control of the Patriots, and that's fairly obvious. Otherwise, you don't get rid of Belichick and replace Belichick with an unproven person. So the only reason you would do that is because you want control. And I think Robert Kraft will. I think he's a little bit superstitious, and I think he's going to be thinking Michigan. And it's quite possible that Tom Brady might actually be influencing this decision too. So I think it's quite possible. So I think either one is okay, but from what I've seen, everything I've looked at, I actually think J.J. McCarthy is probably the better pick for the Patriots, especially if Mayo wants to coach hard. It depends. It depends on how Gerard wants to do things. But if Gerard wants to coach hard, he wants to, I don't want to say that Patriot way thing or whatever that means. But if he wants to have an element of that, you're going to need a quarterback that can handle it. And J.J. McCarthy was playing for Harbaugh. So, Harbaugh, he's kind of difficult to get along with. He's very aggressive in his coaching, stuff like that. So, I don't know. I think McCarthy's the pick that they're going to go with. I know that nobody's saying that or whatever. Or I haven't seen anybody, but I just think that's the deal. But I think Drake May is also a good pick. All I know is this. I just want to get this out there. Do not trade the pick. I've been seeing people say, "Oh, the Patriots are going to trade the pick." Don't trade the pick. Okay, you've got 3. We had a horrible season. In order to get this, you have to have a quarterback. If you don't have a quarterback, you have nothing. Okay, you have nothing. So it doesn't matter. All these, we're going to build the defense up. We're going to do this. We're going to have a running game. Blah, blah, blah. Well, no. This is 2024. The NFL is about a quarterback, and that's it. That's the bottom line. Basically, all these teams today in the draft are all vying to see who gets to play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game and who gets to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, so the Chiefs can continue winning. So that's basically where I'm at with this. So Chicago Bears. We're not going to waste any time with that. That buys us some time to kind of look at the other, because we know it's going to be Caleb. Okay, just a second. Let me see here. So I have a lot of information coming from different sources, so try not to miss stuff. All right. Now the thing about so the Vikings and Giants are trying to get the number 3 pick. They don't need it. They don't need it, and anything that is going to they don't need it in the sense that what they're going to have to give up. So I don't think anything's going to fix that where they're going to land and what they would give up anyway. So it's just bad idea. The Patriots just stay put. There's nothing you can really offer them to push them off getting a top 5 quarterback, in my opinion. So just get the guy that you want, get the guy that you like. Don't take any risks, because if you do trade back, it depends on where you land, but there might not be one at all. So a good one anyway. So Drake May, JJ McCarthy might not be there. Jaden Daniels probably going to go to the DC Criminals. But I'm happy about that. I'm not interested in either one of them. I don't care about that, so it's fine. I actually think the Patriots are in a good position. I think that number 3 pick is actually pretty good. So if the Patriots had the number 1 pick, well, that's a different situation. But the 3rd pick is actually, I think it's sitting well. So don't do anything. If they do something, then why did you make changes then? Like the whole benefit of having a garbage season is to be able to get a franchise quarterback. That's the deal now. That's the deal today in this world. Okay? That's just the way it goes. You don't want a bad season. You never want to give up a season, ever. I would never in a million years give up a season to get a pick for the future. Okay? But it happened. It already happened. So use it to go number 3. To go and get the quarterback that you want, the guy that you think is good for you. So who do you guys tell me who you think the Patriots are going to pick, and then tell me who you want them to pick. If they're the same, then just put the same, but if they're different. So as where I stand, I think they're going to go JJ McCarthy. I think they're going to surprise everybody, but I'm okay with either Drake May or JJ McCarthy. I'm fine with either one. I like that Drake is a bit taller. JJ McCarthy, I'm not a... You guys know that I'm not a big fan of shorter quarterbacks. I think they got the JJ McCarthy listed at like 6'1.5", which really means he might be 5'11" or 6 foot. Who knows? But I just don't like it. I like quarterbacks that are tall and can see over the line. It's just in that position. That's just what I prefer. Just like I like my running backs a little different. But yeah. Yeah, Melina, tall and handsome. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, so that's what she's thinking about. Okay, so Melina, what you need to do is you need to go look at pictures of Drake May and JJ McCarthy and tell me which one you want. Because you got to remember, Nefertiti's criteria for a New England Patriots quarterback is how good looking they are. So tell us, Nefertiti, go look at a picture of Drake May and JJ McCarthy and tell us what you think there. So, all right. If we had a quarterback already, if okay? Which is not the case. But let's say, okay, guys, you got to remember, we have a long time, so I'm going to throw some fun things out there too, so don't get all like blah, blah about it, all right? But just listen, okay? If the Patriots secretly have been in talks with Tom Brady, hang on, then you might go Marvin Harrison Jr. And you might do it if the Giants could move up. And then if the Giants could move up back to like 4, okay? If they could do that, which I don't know if they could do that, but I'm just saying this is a scenario. If they could do that, then you make that trade, and then you would go Marvin Harrison Jr. and then try to figure out a backup quarterback or a young guy. Maybe take a younger guy, not as of a sure thing as these other quarterbacks we're talking about, but maybe you could do that. Again, I'm not saying that Tom Brady's coming back. I'm just saying that just for fun that you would want to do that. Now, regarding Tom Brady, I will tell you this. Tom pitched, now he didn't pitch it, but Tom made this comment about like he was open to coming back, like the Patriots or the Raiders and maybe the 49ers, something like that, right? He answered that question completely different before this recent comment. So he was always like, no, I'm getting ready for Fox, all that stuff. But this last comment was different. He didn't say all that. So he was more like open to it. Well, making that comment before the draft is when you would want to do that, because you want to let you don't want to narrow your teams. You want to let every team know that if it's possible to get you, who would they draft? And you would want Tom's input on the draft as well. So if you were going to come back, if you're Tom, before the draft is a time to do that and to get ready and all that. So I don't think that's happening, but I have to address it because he said it, and that's just what we do here. That's just the way it is. So it would be awesome, but no. But I can tell you right now, Marvin Harrison Jr. is the next great wide receiver in the league, and you cannot put a price on being the son of a famous athlete. It works, or not. They don't even have to be famous. Just a professional athlete, I should say. It works because they grow up with that professionalism. They grow up with understanding how things are. They're raised differently. Like they're more focused on just the game, and they don't get generally they don't get caught up the way other kids do that get caught up in the fame and the money all of a sudden. That's not really a focus because they already grew up well. You look at Christian McCaffrey, whose father was a player for the Denver Broncos, and McCaffrey, you can see how he handles himself. If you look at Sante Samuel Jr., you see how good he is. He's not as volatile as his father, but his father's really just got a big mouth. But look at Patrick Mahomes, whose father was a professional baseball player, and Mahomes came into the league already with that mentality. He was already kind of that other stuff really didn't matter to him. The money and all that was really, it's great, but the game is important. So he knows how to take it seriously and all that. I just think that when you do that, when you go with a guy who's got a professional father, I think that can work in the NFL. So maybe not in other sports. I'm not going to speak to that. But with Marvin Harrison Jr., Marvin Harrison obviously is his dad. His dad was the just absolute professional, except when he was murdering people at car washes or something. But on the field, he was great. Okay, so it's Marvin Harrison was a great route runner, phenomenal route runner, and he was very low key, but he did his talking on the field. He did his talking, running routes and stuff like that. Very professional. So that's a great pick. Marvin Harrison Jr., next great wide receiver. this will not be a bust. So good luck to whoever gets it. Probably the Chargers is going to get them, or the Cardinals. We'll see if they trade back, because there's a rumor. I heard a rumor that they might be trading with the Giants. So. Okay, that homosexual Eminem is at the draft for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not sure what his deal is. Jared Goff's up there. That's cool. Like to see Jared Goff up there. I don't think Jared Goff is. Pretty sure. So we got the Lions players up there. Oh, is that Megatron? Hold up. Hold up. It is. That's Megatron up there. You guys know who that is talking, right? Okay, what's up, guys? I kind of just started up and didn't acknowledge you guys. Sorry about that. Just get out of the way so you guys know what's been going on. So at the Super Bowl, the reason we didn't have a Super Bowl game or a live show from the Super Bowl game itself was because I had gone to Arkansas. I'd been there for the last month and a half, almost 2 months. Went to Arkansas because my mother has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And we don't know how long she's got. It's kind of a waiting game at this point. So I went to Arkansas to get as much time as possible with her while I can. Because right now she's still mom. She's still the normal as far as that goes. So I wanted to spend time with her and all that. And really talking about football, talking about anything really wasn't on my mind. I just wasn't in the right frame of mind to do that. But then I got a emergency call from Elena, who was here in LA. I came back quickly. And then, and now, as of recently, Milena's mom died. So she just passed away. And that was here. Her mom was staying with us. Her mom has been staying with us for 1.5 years. So I've spent a lot of time with her. But that's what's been happening. So that's what's going on with the delays and why, there's like, okay, there was supposed to be a show and then there wasn't a show and all that. That's it sucks, but that's the deal lately. So, but I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back with you guys. It's nice seeing your names up here and everything. That's so. So let me go through this real quick. Tyree, what's up, man? Sierra Chubbs, Tiffany, hey, Psycho Mantis. Of course, I was addressing him earlier. What's up, Kevin? Nightly Sinister. Nefertiti, of course, is. Auditing, I should say. Austin Thomas, what's up, Austin? How you doing, man? How's Florida? All right, let's see here. Phil Williamson. That's why you love Jimmy G. Yeah, that Jimmy G passes the Nefertiti test, so we have to ask Milena about who we're supposed to go with. Israel, yeah, I'm glad to be back, man. Thank you for the warm welcome back, guys. Thank you. John Thomas Chavez, not thrilled taking JJ so high. You think that's too high for him? Yeah. With Drake May, what I like about Drake is that he's tall, and guys, height matters in this game. When you're a quarterback, it really does. It doesn't mean everything. Like you can be Drew Brees, and you don't have to be that tall, obviously. But I just prefer it. It's just a personal preference of mine. I don't know. It's so I'm fine either way. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy with either pick. I just think that they might surprise everybody and whoop and make just a total shocking turn and go to JJ because everybody thinks it's Drake. But yeah, I'm okay either way. Let's see here. Gord King, what's up, man? Hey, Gord King's been going live a lot lately. I don't know, you guys been following him. Let's see. I wasn't able, actually, I was supposed to be on one of the Gord King shows recently, and I missed that. That sucked. I was actually at the hospital the very moment he went live, so I wasn't able to do that. Psycho Mantis says, my father has stage 4 cancer. It's definitely, yeah, sorry, man. It sucks. Absolutely sucks. Nightly Sinister, Kevin, as you well know, his mom died, recently. I grew up with Kevin. We've been friends since we were in kindergarten. I've known his mom. We spent a lot of time over her house and stuff. So that was a shock. So yeah, Kevin, you know exactly what's up. Thank you, Israel. Thank you, Sierra Chips. I appreciate that, you guys. Let's see here. We have Mastermind. Okay, so we have someone commenting over on Rumble. Mastermind 2553. Thank you for joining us on Rumble. Appreciate it, my friend. So the Pat McAfee broadcast has Bill Belichick on it, and I tuned in like 30 minutes ago when it first started, and there was no audio, or they had some kind of audio issue. But once they got the audio back, you could see Belichick talking about the board on the wall and kind of showing us his thought process in the drafting. And he was basically showing us how he makes the worst possible picks on offense he could ever do. And so we're getting insight into that. And he sounded nervous, honestly. His voice was a bit shaky. And I think that this is new ground for him. This is a new situation for him. So it was interesting to kind of hear Bill's voice a little. It's kind of strange, Did I hear about? Thank you, Minuteman. Did I? Psychomantis asked me. Did I hear about the report that Kraft called Washington and told them not to hire Belichick? I heard it was Atlanta, but I get you. I get what you mean. Okay, so Kraft and Arthur Blank are pretty close, okay? And I'm torn on this, okay? I really am. In one aspect, it's in Arthur Blank's right to call Bill Belichick's former employer of 22, 23 years, whatever, right? That's what you would naturally do. So that's totally fine. And what Kraft says, so let's say if Kraft gives him the pros and cons, saying, okay, well, here's the pros. Bill obviously, helped us win 6 Super Bowls. We were a relevant team for 2 decades, blah, 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 right? Okay, so we all know the pros. We get all that. So the second part, the cons of Bill Belichick, and he probably went over them. Now, if that's all he did, that's perfectly fair. Okay, that is just how it is. We all do that. If you've ever hired somebody, you've done that. If you've ever been an employee and looked for and had a review or a reference, then that's the same thing. I think that's fair game. I don't think it's a problem. But what they're saying is that Kraft actually told Arthur Blank, like, do not hire him. Do not. It's a massive mistake. Don't. That's a bit different than just giving a reference and giving like a pros and cons or answering some questions that Arthur Blank has. If Kraft did that, if he actually just straight up told Blank to do that, then that's awful. That makes him a pretty crappy person, in my opinion. Did he do that? I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. Okay, so here's why. For Kraft, what you don't want is you don't want Belichick running off and then winning the Super Bowl. Okay? The Falcons, just being honest, okay? And apologize to any Falcons fans watching this. Well, you know what? I don't apologize. It's just the truth, so I'm not going to apologize. It's just something you say. But Tiffany, I know Tiffany's a Falcons fan. Caleb Williams, oh no. Anyway, Belichick was not going to turn the Falcons into Super Bowl champions. Okay? So if you're Kraft and you know of all the teams that could possibly want Belichick, first of all, you want him out of the AFC. Okay? You want him out of there. You want him as far away from you as possible. So the Atlanta Falcons would have been perfect for Kraft. If you're Kraft, you know that Belichick's going to land a job eventually. Help him get the Atlanta job done. He's out of there. He's probably not. So if Kraft did that, it was stupid. And the talking penis, Roger Goodell, goes up there and says it's Caleb Williams, and we're all shocked. I like his jacket Caleb's wearing with that cross. That's awesome. So he's a Christian. Caleb's a Christian. At least he's got that going for him. But yeah, he's got an ego. But is it the kind of ego that's a good thing, or is it the kind of ego that's a bad thing? Because the ego can be. It depends, you know. It's irrelevant, though. It's irrelevant. Caleb Wilson, may his career rest in peace. You are going to one of the worst teams in NFL history for a quarterback to go to, especially a young quarterback. Hey, guys, we've got 49 viewers and only 8 likes. Can you guys please just hit that like button? Help us out there and get this going. It's been a while since we've been on, so we need to get that circulating. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, Psycho Mantis. Yeah, Psycho Mantis says, I don't think he has the mental toughness to play in a market like Chicago. It's going to be difficult. They're going to want conversion to good football immediately, and I just don't think it's not possible for Chicago. It's just not the place where quarterbacks thrive. And I'm not sure if Caleb Williams, from what I watched the interviews of him, I'm not sure he's the guy for them. Gord King says, oh my God, Caleb Williams is the number 1 pick. Who saw that coming? Yeah. The Gord King, Bills' odds of winning the Super Bowl Atlanta would have been 28-3 at best. Nice. Well done. Very well done, Gord King. Props. All right. Tyree Vaughn says Caleb Williams has way too much of an ego. John Thomas Chavez says Williams to the Bears. Rest in peace to his career. Gord King says, I see a Maybelline sponsorship in Caleb's future. That's funny. Kevin, Nightly Sinister, says another number 1 going to a dead-ass team and won't amount to anything. Yep. Tyree Vaughn. Yep. Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky wasn't all that good of a quarterback to begin with, so that was really a bad pick. He was probably going to fail in most places he went to, you know. So yeah, I mean, I just that was going to go bad anyway. Justin Fields. I had Justin Fields as a bust before he went to Chicago. That was just it was more of a whoever team gets them, if they're not like, you know, great offensive mind that's there or something, that he would be a bust. Okay, look what happened. Yeah, Tyree, and they missed on Patrick Mahomes. Well, the thing about Patrick Mahomes is Patrick very well could just be another Justin Fields or Mitchell Trubisky if he had gone to Chicago. That's not out of the realm. At best, he might have been a Tua Tagovailoa, right? And that's best case scenario. And it's just location matters. when it comes to quarterback in the NFL today, it's very, very important. And we see that. Unfortunately, I've come to the conclusion, I've realized that there are no competitors for the Chiefs. There's nobody. And this is not a shot at the Chiefs. They can't control how good their competition is. They can only control what they have. They can only control what they do. So it's not about them. But my point is that the NFL is not putting together these great teams. There's no real good coaches that can handle it, and the way it used to be. It used to be that even when you had a dynasty, there would be a bunch of teams that had your number or could take you out, and it was always a struggle. So the Patriots, for example, went to 9 Super Bowls with Belichick and Brady, and there was still people in the way to keep them going from even more. There was Peyton Manning's Colts in 2006. There was let's see. Well, you may laugh, but Rex Ryan's Jets actually were a problem for a while, a short period of time, but they were an issue. That 2010 team should have never lost that game. They were phenomenal. And then you've got Peyton's Broncos teams that would get in the way. You had the Ravens that was constantly a pain in the ass. So there's a lot of this stuff going on. Even in the early 2000s, of course, that was a lot different game back then. That was different teams. But Pittsburgh was a problem, was an issue there. So I just don't see anybody right now that can compete. It reminds me of Serena Williams at the end of her career, where it was her and then there's nobody. Like, nobody could compete. It was just like, and I'm not saying the end of her career, I'd say the second half of her career. It's just like, that's them, it's the Chiefs, and everybody down here. It's the distance is so ridiculous that it's laughable at this point. So okay, so moment of truth. Pick 3 coming up. Okay, so the DC Criminals, as predicted, will take Jaden Daniels. Okay, there we go. So we got those 2 out of the way. Now it's us, guys. Let's go. But yeah, there's no... oh, here we go. Reggie Goodell. Oh. I must be on a delay or something. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, so also, guys, when you're picking a quarterback, one thing you need to look at is you need to look at the system they were in and the conference they were in. And this is one thing I picked up on a few years ago. Honestly, I got this from one of you guys, and I can't remember who it was, or I'd give you props. Sorry about that. But basically, you want to really take a look at the type of offense they're running, because sometimes these offenses don't translate. They don't translate to the NFL. They don't work. They look good on tape, and it's like, but oh my God, look at that throw. That's an amazing throw. Yeah, you're never going to make that throw in the NFL. You're never going to be able to complete it. You're never going to be able to do that. You're never going to be able to trick a DB at the NFL level to do that. It's just not going to happen. So you have to be aware of these things. I think a lot of teams draft quarterbacks based off of highlight reels and stuff like that. And that's why I wasn't very high on Daniels. So it's whatever. But I think it's one of those situations where it's team stuff. It's college stuff that just don't necessarily work. See, in the college game, you only run into just maybe a few teams that are going to have a lot of draft picks like your team. Let's say you're a juggernaut. Let's say you're LSU, for example, or Michigan, who won, right? But a lot of your schedule is just a bunch of nonsense. It's just a bunch of teams that really can't handle you or compete with you, right? So the quarterback is going to be throwing against DBs that are, going to be working, full-time jobs after college. They're not ever going to see another, football field ever again after this. That's the majority of them. So you can make these cool throws and it looks good on highlight reels and everything, and everyone's like, wow, look at this guy, he's amazing. But you get to the NFL, every single person on the field was the man. They were the guy where they're from. So it's a different game. Even the third, fourth DB out there is going to be better than 95% of the DBs that you faced in college. Okay, that's the fourth or DB, depending on, but that's the reality of it. So you really have to dig deep when you look at these quarterbacks, and everything is about mentality first. First for me, mentality. I need to interview them. I need to know how their mind works. Not too worried about all the other stuff if the mind is not right. I don't care how far you can throw it. I don't care your highlight reels. I don't care what your record was and all this other stuff in college. If your mind's not right, you already failed. So I'm not even looking at you. If your mind is right, we can work on the other things, to a certain extent. I'm saying within reason, okay? So don't come at me and say, oh, well, there's a guy that has a 39 on the Wonderlic test and he's a bust. Well, he didn't have the other stuff. But I'm just saying that in order, you've got to go first thing, mentality. So Drake May went to the Patriots just now. .6'4", 220. Damn. All right. Well, I like the pick. I just thought that they might pull a switch and go with JJ because of, the Michigan connection. But good, guys. They did not trade the pick. They didn't do anything stupid. Let me see what Belichick has to say about this. Just a second. Belichick seems a little bitter about the Patriots pick. Not very complimentary, but I understand why. He's not going to be great, or he's not going to be great about it. He's not going to be like complimentary about it, no matter who they pick. I mean, he just got fired, right? I mean, so it's just... He's given Drake May a bad review. Now, depending on where he goes, depending on where JJ goes, we're going to see. Let's wait. I want to see where he goes first to tell you who I think will end up being the better pro, Drake May or JJ, okay? Location, where you go means everything. It's important. Especially with quarterback. Quarterback can only do so much, no matter how great they are. Okay. The Gord King says, Bill doesn't like Drake May. That's the best news I've heard since that time we drafted Drake May. Man, I'll tell you what. If they could have just worked it out to where we could have gotten a general manager, I would have been perfectly fine with Bill coaching the team. I was trying to fire the general manager, Belichick, not the coach. And you have to ask yourself, is the hell? Is the football baby era over in Arizona? Okay. So the first three picks have held true. We got Caleb Williams going to the Bears. We got Jaden Daniels going to the DC Criminals. And we have Drake May going to the Patriots. So we're waiting for the Cardinals. Okay, so I had predicted that they would trade with the Giants, but I'm wrong. All right. Because it says the pick is in. Yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, Bill's opinion is irrelevant as far as what he, like I was saying, he was not going to give anybody the Patriots picked a good review there. So it's expected, whatever. Marvin Harrison goes to the Cardinals. That's a good pick, but they need a quarterback. Kyler Murray sucks. Sorry, Nefertiti. I know you like football, baby, and all, but he was how much was he injured? You know, it's just, and you have to put something in his contract to make him work. I mean, what are you going to do with that? You know, so it's ridiculous. I have a text. Let's see what this is. Yeah. Okay. All right. So next is the Chargers. So yeah, I really thought the Giants were going to try to move up and try to make something happen there, but okay, that's a good pick for the Cardinals. So Chargers, let's see. Now that there's no trade, I'm going to go. I think the Chargers are going to go wide receiver here. They obviously, Justin Herbert needs, a good target, but I think they're going to go there. So let's find out. The Minuteman says, everyone at my job thinks May is a bust. Well, he might be, but I mean, it depends also on how the Patriots build around him. I mean, it matters. Like I said, if Patrick Mahomes had gone to some garbage team like Chicago, nobody would care about him right now. And that's not a knock. It's just the truth. It's just how it works, man. It's fairly obvious, I think. Yeah, so far Belichick's been very positive about every pick, doing the breakdown of every pick, except for the Patriots one. So he was very negative about that. That's just him being bitter about, towards the Patriots. I wouldn't put any stock into that at all about what he thinks. So regarding that. Yeah, John Thomas Chavez says, so Bill doesn't like an offensive player. That means he's got the right guy. Yeah, exactly. So you got to remember, guys, Bill Belichick had to be talked into getting Tom Brady. He had to be talked into Tom Brady. That wasn't like him being all-knowing. I'm Belichick, and I can see that Tom Brady is going to be this and that. No. No, Dick Rabine talked him into it. Okay, let's go back here and see what you guys are saying. Yeah, the Minuteman says the best college player was a big fish in a little pond. In the NFL, all the players are the big fish of the big pond. That's very true. That's exactly how it works. So you've got to look deep on these guys. Yeah, John Thomas Chavez says, come what may, nicely done, at least we'll be able to say we didn't reach for a player. Listen, I'm fine. I'm totally okay. I'm not going to sit here and overanalyze it and all this crap. We had to go quarterback. We had to keep the pick, number 3. That's it. Did our job. There's nothing you can ask for. It was either going to be Drake or it was going to be JJ. In my opinion, that was the two choices. So, and that's it. So, there's nothing more we can do. Like now, it's about what they can do with it. So, I think mentality is a lot, and I don't know exactly what their interview process is, because I kind of understood. I had a pretty good understanding of Belichick's interview process when he was there with quarterbacks, but all this is a big unknown with Mayo, so we'll just have to see. But you had to go a quarterback, and you had to stay third, and they did that, so it's fine. John Thomas Chavez says, let's trade for Ayuk. Well, that'd be pretty cool. Gord King says, Arizona takes Marvin Harrison Jr. all day. Yeah. I was just saying that maybe the Cardinals and Giants trade. I just thought that they might do that. So it seemed like the Giants were pretty desperate to get up there. But it didn't happen. So obviously Marvin Harrison was going to be the first player, not a quarterback taken. John Thomas Chavez says, and if we have Brissett, meaning May doesn't have to start, if you have a quarterback that can learn from behind the bench, but it depends on who's the starter is. And Jacoby is a good professional. Like, he's a very professional person, and we've seen him. He's been our quarterback before. We've seen him, what he can do on other teams. He's not exceptional or anything. He's not going to dominate the league or anything like that, but he could be a good chance, good enough chance for him to learn behind him. So Or do we want a Mac Jones scenario again? So, but again, it also depends on Gerard Mayo and how he coaches. What's his style going to be? So, 49ers have been fielding calls for Debo and Ayuk. Now, I heard that they were working Ayuk, but I didn't know about Debo. Where'd you hear that about Debo? And why would they? Wow. Okay. Okay. So the Chargers go offensive tackle. I really thought they would go for another target, but I mean, okay. Yeah. I mean, protect Justin. Okay. That works too. So as long as it's as long as it revolves around Justin, as long as that's what you're doing, that's fine with me. I just thought, at least they'd probably get him another target, but yeah, that works. Okay. Logical draft so far. Everything kind of fits what it makes sense at least. So, all right. Who's next? It is the Giants. Okay, so now we're at the Giants. So nothing happened there. I don't know what the Giants are thinking. I honestly don't care. I don't even care what they do. So I just want some challengers to the Chiefs. I just want to make this game interesting, this league more interesting, and people can't handle it. Look who, how many times did Brady go against a quarterback who had already won a Super Bowl when he defeated them? Let's see. He beat Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner had already won. He beat Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson had already won. Jared Goff didn't. He beat Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes had already won. So that's several. If you count playoffs, let's see. He went through Aaron Rodgers after Aaron had won. He went through Drew Brees after Drew had won. He unfortunately never beat Peyton after Peyton became a Super Bowl champion, which is interesting. That's kind of strange. But there was, like I said, there's always these guys that were established dudes, with great teams, good coaching, solid, just every year they always have a good record. Where are these guys? Where are these teams? They're just not there. People are thinking that maybe the Bengals could be that team, maybe, but no, not with that owner. Not with that owner. They're going to screw it up. And Joe Burrow can't stay on the field, apparently. So, yeah, Gord King, that's a good point. Big Ben. Okay, I forgot about that one. He beat Big Ben. After Big Ben was a Super Bowl champion, two-time Super Bowl champion, he beat Ben in the 2016 AFC Championship game. So, thank you. That's another one I forgot. Yeah, but Gord King, they're not, though. Cincinnati will not put an O-line together because they're cheap. O-lines are expensive. Good offensive lines are expensive, and they're not going to. You guys know I've been railing against that team for years. Ever since Von Allen Sports started, I've been telling you guys about Mike Brown and what a big douchebag he is. But it doesn't matter. Joe is a great quarterback, and he can be that dude. He can be that next. We could have our Peyton Tom-esque rivalry, or the 90s when we had the Favre versus Steve Young versus Troy Aikman, Marino, Kelly, all that. We had all that going on. We could have that now, but there's a lot of dumb owners and there's a lot of stupid coaching. Like the Chargers, this whole time the Chargers should have been a big threat, and they've been nothing. They've been complete pushovers. The Raiders always find a way to screw up whatever they're working on. There's just nobody. I mean, what blows my mind, honestly, is that the Patriots have had all these last few years with the weakest competition that we've seen in decades, probably, I don't know how long. League-wide competition, in my opinion, the weakest. And what I mean by weakest is there's no consistency. So it's just like somebody has to win and somebody has to be that special team that year. But there's no consistency, meaning that they're winning out of just circumstances and not winning because they've made that happen because they're just so good every year. How did the Patriots not do anything all these years? How did they not get anywhere? It's just mind-boggling. I mean, how can losing a quarterback make that big of a difference? How can going from Tom Brady, even though he's the GOAT, it just blows my mind. How does one player leaving completely collapse everything around you? That is the most egregious thing about all this, about this whole since 2020 thing. It's how could Bill not put together a team that was taking advantage of this stuff? It's unbelievable. Yeah, I love Burrow, man. I love Burrow. He's my favorite quarterback probably right now, I'd say. I think, let's see. Yeah, he's probably my favorite dude right now, but he's on the Bengals, and it's just not going to work. They're not going to protect him, so not going to happen. But I just still can't get over it. I can't not get over how you lose one player, and he completely collapsed your entire league, or entire dynasty, or entire team, and you can't compete in the league at all. It's mind-blowing, dude. Seriously. It's just... With the NFL, the way it is, the way it's so team-oriented, it's not like sports. It's not like the Bulls falling apart because they lost Michael Jordan. You know, it's not the same thing. It's just... Mastermind says, on your current point, should that be counted towards Brady's legacy because he basically was the entire backbone of that Patriots team? I don't know if Tom needs it, but it certainly can be used against Bill if people want to do that. So that's got to be answered for. I mean, seriously, man. It's... Okay, so the Giants go Malik Neighbors, wide receiver. Okay, so let's see. Let me see who they've got right now. Who their current crew is. Okay, so the Giants did acquire Drew Lock I thought that maybe he might be able to be a decent pro when he was drafted to Denver, but yeah, he's just kind of like forgotten. That's not really going to matter. And then everyone's got this Tommy DeVito fever thing, and with Daniel Jones. So let me see what he's up to here. Let's see what his status is. It's still up in the air on him, so I don't know. But who cares? All right. Titans. Titans are next. So I'll tell you what. I was telling Milena this the other day. Hang on just a second. What is that? The hell? Oh, okay. You guys remember the infamous comment by Tom Brady that said he called another team mother effers? Do you remember that? And he said he said you took that mother effer or whatever. And we were always kind of wondering like who he was talking about. Well, it's kind of I always said it was the Tennessee Titans. He was talking about the Titans and Ryan Tannehill. And I'm going to double down on that and say that's who he was talking about. I doubt he's ever going to mention it. I doubt he's ever going to tell us the truth. But people think, I don't know. If he has, I haven't heard him mention it. But him and Mike Vrabel didn't get along that well when Tom was there. They were teammates and all, but Tom didn't like Vrabel that much. But Tom thought that they were friends, afterwards. And so I think he was kind of surprised, and I think that bothered him. Of course, he's not going to have any love for Ryan Tannehill anyway, being the Dolphins quarterback. So, in that situation with the Dolphins, So, it's always going down to Miami and losing a game. That had to be infuriating probably for him. So. All right. Titans go offensive tackle. I go J.C. Latham out of Alabama. Okay. It's a quarterback league, as they say. Got to protect the quarterback. Got to protect him. Not from much, anyway. They keep changing the rules so much that maybe eventually won't have to anyway. So. Remember, I'm still sticking to my prediction. By 2030, a female will be signed by a team. Now, I'm not saying she'll play, but she'll be signed into training camp at some point by a team by 2030, a female. Also, prediction, before 2030, the quarterbacks will be designated as untackleable. So basically, you just got to hope that you can defend it, but you don't need to do much. So and when I say tackleable, I mean you virtually can't hit them. There's really no way to hit him, so you just have to kind of have to get in his way and hug him, and maybe like do that weird side hump thing, like that kind of stuff. Yeah. By 2030, you're going to see both of those things occur. Okay. All right. Atlanta Falcons is on the clock. Right? Oh, wait. Yeah, Atlanta. Okay, so unless something weird goes down or whatever, the Patriots do not pick again until tomorrow. and it'll be the early second round. So. Well, talking about the Giants, you said they must hate really good quarterback prospects. They originally, they were going to take, they were wanting Ben Roethlisberger back in 2004, the 2004 draft. So they were, before all that crap happened with Eli, Eli, if he had stayed and just stuck with the Chargers where he was picked, then the Giants were going to go Roethlisberger, and then the Steelers were going to go Phillip Rivers. Think about that. Think about how different that would be. Strange, right? So if the Giants had ended up with Roethlisberger, they would have won more than 2 Super Bowls probably. Or at least they would have been better consistently, instead of like good for like 1 year at the end of the 2007 season and then suck, and then they got good for another weird year and then suck again. That's basically was Eli Manning's career with the Giants. But with Ben, I think Tom Coughlin and them, I think they would have been consistently good all the time. I think that would have been a different scenario. Eli would have been forgotten, and the Chargers probably. So I just, it's funny to look at the past like that and kind of evaluate how things could have been. So. That's true, Gord King. If he was saying that about any quarterback, it would literally be Zach Wilson. That is very true. Nefertiti. Let's see here. Okay. You guys have any questions? It's been a while since we've been on. So is there anything you guys want to talk about while we're waiting on this amazing, intense pick of the Atlanta Falcons? So. Now, the other day, let's see, did the comment section stop working or something? Oh, no, there we go. Yeah, of course, Mastermind, go for it. On the Chiefs question, okay, do you want to just type it again, or do I listen to RFK Jr.'s podcast? Of course. Yeah. I've gone to a few of his rallies here in Los Angeles over the past 6 months. I mean, going back to like last year. So, Milka, what's up, kiddo? What? Hey, Nefertiti. Majli Coca-Cola Vednaga. Majli Coca-Cola Molia Vednaga. Logodarian Ogo. Come here, Amelia. Black cat. All right. My black cat. Hey, come here, kiddo. All right. Come here, kiddo. Okay, you can go that way. That's fine. Gord King says, I have a question. Which movie from the sports movie tournament would you have wanted to win? Probably Any Given Sunday, I think. I think that's that one. I mean, there's a lot of good sports movies that I like that are like comedies that I think are hilarious, like Major League and Major League 2. I still watch those and still laugh. It's amazing. Like after you've seen something, you know the jokes, and you still actually laugh out loud, and I still do. But I can't give it to a comedy though. Like it's when it's something like that, I still have to give it to a more serious movie. I think Any Given Sunday is probably the best sports movie. So I'd say that one. Blind Assassin asks, where did Mac Jones go? He's a Jaguar now. He's over there with Trevor. Sorry, Trevor Lawrence. Oh, look at there, you no go. Oh, new Coke. Look at it's mini Coke. It's baby Coke. They brought the wrong ones. So see, I ordered the ones from Mexico, and they brought these little bitty. Look at this. It doesn't even fit in my thing. Look at that. Pathetic. Michael Penis Jr. selected by the Falcons. All right, Michael Penis Jr. Bust. 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 Boom. Boom. Bust. Hope that didn't hurt your ears. Because nobody knew they'd be that dumb. Unbelievable. When are they expecting him to play? I'm just curious. And even if he did, it's not going to work. What is that all about? I don't get it. I mean, how much did they give Kirk Cousins recently? They gave him like $1 gajillion, right? Belichick just said that the Falcons probably could have traded back and still gotten penis. But why would you give all that money to Kirk Cousins and then do that? I don't know. It's not like he was some amazing prospect that was going to like change everything for you. Like you can like make an argument, I guess, if you're picking 25th or 26th or something, but good job, Falcons. Once again, find a way to screw something up. Hey, shithead, go out. Milena, you let the beast in. All right. Why hasn't JJ McCarthy? Why hasn't he been picked yet? Okay. Mastermind asked, "Can you blame the lack of competition against the Chiefs on lackluster defensive play by teams, hyper-focused and all-out offense by the NFL, and stupid ownership and coaching, as you had mentioned?" Okay. Without the risk of sounding petty, the league, how the league is ran and how the rules are just happen to complement the Chiefs game. So that's just the truth. And I'm not saying that, I'm not, it's just a fact. I guess take it how you will, but Bears picked again. They picked a wide receiver, so they're trying to obviously match that up with their quarterback. We'll see how that goes. So, yeah. All right. Well, good luck with that, Chicago. But yeah, the NFL, the way things have been going, you can build a good defense, but at the end of the day, it won't matter that much if the game is tailored towards a style that you're not really for or you're not working for. And they want quarterback, they want touchdowns, they want passing, they want crazy plays like Michael Vick type runs and stuff, and they can't do that if you can play defense. They have dumbed down the quarterback position, in fact, so they get more of this kind of junk. That the NFL is going the way of the NBA. They're just going for highlights. NFL was never a league about highlight reels. It was never a league about star players. Even though it had star players, the NFL was never marketed as a star-led sport. And all the other sports were, though, but not the NFL. The NFL was always about, you could enjoy an NFL game and not even know the guys on the team, and you could see a team do well and play well, and it would be exciting, it would be fun, and people would still care about it. That's what was unique about the NFL. But the NFL is now trying to do the whole NBA thing, so they want to promote stars, they want to promote players instead of the product. The product, they don't want the product to sell the sport anymore. They want the players to sell the sport, because we live in a day of an era of influencers now. So anybody who goes up on Instagram and shows their penis or their vagina or whatever to people are now influencers. And any NFL player who gets drafted today is going to talk about their brand. It's like, you just got drafted to NFL, you haven't even played down, but you've got a brand all of a sudden. So the NFL sees that, and they're like, okay, so we want to market those players, and we want them to do well, but we have to ding the rules a bit, because a lot of these guys are idiots. A lot of these guys the sport's been dumbed down, especially at the college level, even all the way back to the high school level. And it's just opening it up for them and making it easier for them. And that happens to fall into the benefit of what the Chiefs do. It fits them perfect. And that's the way it is, man. It's what they're doing. And other teams will eventually come around, but it may be a while. So the days of these quarterback generals that go out there and they just know everything about what's going on, those days are probably gone. It's pretty much over. The only remnants left of that are really going to be, Aaron Rodgers is still kind of around, I guess, whatever you want to call that. But those days are kind of dead. Quarterbacks now are just heavily reliant on what they're told, the information that they're given in the moment. So there's no real leadership, and the coaches now live vicariously through their players instead of just being I'm the coach, you're the player, but you still have to make decisions, you still have to lead. Now the coaches want to be the quarterbacks too, so they want to be like the kid playing Madden. So the coaches want to be the kid with the controller telling the quarterback where to go. That's how it is now. That's kind of what they want to do. And they all agree with these rule changes because they know that if they've got an athletic quarterback who's kind of stupid, and for lack of a better term, or just doesn't know the game very well, then they can go with that. So, and yeah, I kind of hope that answers your question, but that's like, it's a bigger problem than just saying one thing, like, oh, it's this or this is. It's a whole mentality. It's an evolution. The game has become this way, and it wasn't overnight. This was something that was peeking through in the late 2010s, and we saw this. We saw this coming through around 2017, 2018. We saw like, what's going on here? And they just kept doing it, and now we are where we're at now. So. Here we go. The Vikings went McCarthy. Okay. Nice job, Vikings. Good pick. I like it. Good job, Vikings. Well done. At number 10. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, Gord King. Yeah, absolutely. JJ to JJ. That's going to be nice. Okay, so the Vikings unloaded Kirk Cousins, so they didn't have to pay him that ridiculous amount of money they were making for kind of good play, but not really team elevating play. There's more to it than just stats, guys. You got to lead. You got to make the team believe in you, and everybody else has to care. Okay. If McCarthy can be that dude, you don't have to pay him, So, these rookies now, they don't make nothing compared to what they used to. So that's good. Yeah, I like it. Good for the Vikings. Thank you. So what I'll tell you about, for example, about the time frames on how things have changed on the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Let me show this real quick. So this is my formula. Now, the formula for it also involves year differential, or set of years. I'm sorry, set of years. Because things change with rules, with historical events throughout NFL history that altered things. So let me pull this up real quick. Come on. What in the hell? I don't know why these aren't opening. Okay. I open these files like every day on my computer when I get on my computer, and they just open right up. But this time, Numbers wants to update itself. Ain't that funny? Okay, so I'm going to just go over this real quick, just to give you guys an idea about this. By the way, Minnesota had actually traded. They were 11th apparently, and the Jets let the Minnesota. You know what? I'm not kidding. The Jets could have stayed there, maybe. Put McCarthy behind Aaron Rodgers. That might have been cool. But I suspect that this was a move by Rodgers to get other players. So they made the deal, and they probably thought that they could get more weapons for Aaron there that way. We'll see what they do. But okay. They've got this guy on this on the McCaffrey show. It sounds just like Mel Kiper. It's like, I guess he's kind of trying to do some impression or something. It's kind of getting annoying at this point, but all right. It was funny at first though. Okay, so there are different eras that I I figured on. So you got 1933 to 1938 in the NFL. This is quarterbacks only, okay? So this is about the passing. So you have to take averages of eras and then assign points to them. Okay. Let's see here. So the inflation rate on that would be like, for example, 3.65%. So if you're a quarterback who is, and don't be misled by the word inflation, it's not exactly like it is with money. I just call it that just for a quick reference for my thinking process. But the average out is 3.65%, meaning that any stats that they have is multiplied by that. So if you wanted to know how much throwing for 1,000 yards, in a certain era, well, nobody did, but let's say 1936, 1,000 yards. If you want to know what that would equal to in the year 2023, or backwards, you would know by multiplying it times this inflation rate. But that would be from 33 to 38, and then the next era would be where I call it the passing popularity advances, 39 to 46. Okay, that inflation rate goes down now. So now it went from 3.65, which is insanely high, by the way. So your touchdown, a passing touchdown in 1933, is going to be worth 3 times what it is today. That's insane, right? But it goes all the way down to 2.3 from 39 to 46. Then you've got 47 to 50, where a lot of different rule changes took effect, but they were just a little bit each year. Then you've got 51 through 59. So this is the popularity of the passing game. This gave a really dangerous edge to defenses, honestly. So this made it it was a very confusing time for the NFL. They were like, okay, so they really didn't have a handle on where this was going. It happened kind of fast, honestly. But from 51 to 59, you've got the 1.59 inflation rate. It actually went up from the previous group. Then the AFL is introduced. So once the AFL is introduced, that changes things. So we go from 60 to 69. The inflation rate goes all the way down to 1.27 because the passing game is now opened up. Now, 1970, 1973. This is the era of the merger. Passing evolved even more, but the defenses have now evolved. Now they have geared themselves towards that. But you have to remember, this is the most dangerous era for passing a football ever. Ever. This is the most brutal time to be a quarterback is 70 to 73. Okay? And this can be extended a bit to 78, but 70 to 73 is definitely very, very dangerous, very awful. Because the defense has now finally been able to figure out how to make this work, but they can get away with anything. There were no rules. The game had opened up, but they really didn't know how to referee what the defense was doing, and it just led to some really brutal stuff at this time. There were several rule changes, so they did try to get this kind of turned down a little bit. It didn't do an ultimate job, but it did. It was a long process. It was between 74 and 78 that each year they had kind of introduced something else. Finally they hit with the kind of a good balance. So the passing era begins, annual changes have taken hold, and quarterback electronic communications are now outlawed. So now you can't do that anymore. So now the quarterback has to understand the signals or know the play ahead of time or kind of have an idea of what he's doing, which is a different game than what we're used to today. So before this, they did allow the quarterback communications. But this is 79 to 81, and then the inflation era went down to 1.23. '82 was a significant year because that was the in the grasp was adopted, and it was illegal to hit a quarterback after the ball had left his hand. So keep in mind, guys, this is '82 that this happened. '83 through '93, pretty similar. Nothing really changed until '04. There was a few. I do have a few changes. I'm not going to bore you with all that. But '04 to '08 was really when things started to change. But the last era, the last group era for the most wide open offenses, protection galore was 2018. 2018 was 2023, and I know some people can say, well, that's the first year that Patrick Mahomes started playing. I can't help that. It has nothing to do with Mahomes. It has nothing to do with his drafting position. He was drafted in 2017, but it's irrelevant to this. This is just how the rules work. This is how everything was introduced, and it was 2018 to 2023 has no adjustment because it is that easy. It is that compared to the past. So it's laughable where this game is going and what they're doing to it. I don't know if there's a way to pull back on this. It seems like they're going to go full steam ahead on this, and the ratings are up. And as long as the ratings are up, as long as people are watching, what are you going to do? So okay. Okay, so the Jets went offensive tackle, so they clearly thought they could get what they were looking for by trading back. So they got protection for Aaron Rodgers, although his injury was kind of strange. But the Atlanta pick was stupid. Absolutely made no sense. Denver went quarterback. They went with Bo Nix. Okay. All right. Okay, so one more thing I want to tell you guys before I go. Because now we're getting into a realm where it's really everything's blown up now as far as what order this is, and don't even know. All right. But I want to tell you is that regarding the greatest quarterbacks of all time, I did have a rule. So me and Nefertiti or Milane or whatever, we were at a Chinese restaurant yesterday, and I just kind of brought the subject up, and I was like, okay, so do you remember the rule we had for the greatest quarterbacks of all time where it was a 10-year, if you were a current player, you had to be playing for 10 years to be considered, because anything less than that, I can't just, it's got to be, I need a significant body of work. Well, the reason we have that rule is because people are going to, be like, where's Josh Allen? Where is Lamar Jackson? And all this. It's just like, what do you mean, where are they? They've not done anything. They really haven't. They've just, it's not relevant, and we don't want to get caught up in all that. So having to open up that can of worms, and we'd have to do all these current quarterbacks. So what we decided is to make an exception for quarterbacks who are exceptional, meaning that they have done things that are above and beyond anything that would ruin them if they had retired today, or if they just start sucking badly. So we have decided to put Patrick Mahomes in the system. So he will be put in there, and he has to be, because he's got 3 Super Bowls, he's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and he's got 2 regular season MVPs. If he retired today, he would make the Hall of Fame. So we're going to make an exception for him. Because I know I had mentioned this before. I had this, and then somebody had asked me, well, what about Patrick Mahomes now that he's won 3? Well, it's a good point. So yes. So we are going to throw him in there and see where he lines up. He does have enough bulk stats, and besides, bulk stats aren't really that important to how the formula works. They are, but they aren't. It's more about the other stuff, and he's got the other stuff. He's got all that, even though some of it's questionable. Okay, that's just between us, me and you guys. You guys know what I'm talking about. Last year's Super Bowl was a joke, but again, I can't put that in there because then I'd have to go into every Super Bowl and look at weird stuff like that. I can only go about what the real legitimate, not legitimate, but the results, the official results, I should say, and what they say. So doing that, I have to stick with it. Otherwise, it would undermine the integrity of the list and what we're trying to accomplish here. So we are going to put him in there. That's the deal. But nobody else under 10 years has an argument. So you don't get put in this. The only way you can get put in this and not have a Super Bowl or stuff is that you've got an epic amount of time in the league, and it's not just bulk. It's year to year being good. Are you placing top 5 in different things? And did you do that forever? For a long time. So MVP here or there is not enough. Like Rich Gannon won MVP. He's not in this. So you got situations like that. So you have to actually do something. It'd be nice if you could at least appear in a Super Bowl. If you at least got 10 years under your belt. But anyway. So I was just wanting to address that because I was asked that recently in the comments. So, okay. One last look at the draft, see where we're at. Okay, so so it's the Raiders. I'm going to wait for the Raiders pick, and the reason I am is because I'm kind of curious about what they're going to do. Again, I'm just leaving some room out there. I know that Tom is interested in the Raiders. I had heard that the Raiders had decided to not worry about quarterback, even though they need a quarterback. Maybe we'll see what they're up to. And the slim hopes. So the pick is in. We'll wait for that. John Thomas Chavez says, how Hertz has the tush push? You think May could make one, develop a sponsorship with a Manny's company and call it the charge at Hellman's? Yeah, that could work. So, I'm just going to wait on the Raiders pick here. This could be very interesting. Man, if Tom Brady came back, that would be insane. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if they have to drag him off the football field, So if Tom Brady did come back, I would say Patrick Mahomes' legacy's in trouble. I mean, as far as wanting to be the GOAT and all that crap. So the feeling feeling I've been getting, reading and watching some of Tom's interviews and stuff, is I think he might be having doubts about the Fox News broadcasting job. A few months ago, he was really talking about it and how he was excited, how he was studying really hard and all this. But he has seen what's happened to, like Drew Brees, for example, and that didn't work out. Maybe he talked to Drew about it. But he is going to be on the road a lot. He's going to have to be doing a lot of study. In fact, as much probably, because you have to know everything about every single player and every single team. I think he's going to have trouble complimenting a lot of these players, especially the quarterbacks, trying to be like Tony Romo level where you're excited for them and stuff. And I just don't see Tom being genuinely excited for these people. You can even see Peyton, when Peyton and Eli do the Monday Night Football broadcast, you can see Peyton's kind of unimpressed with these guys. He tries, he sits there and he tries, but then when they like throw a stupid ball or an incompletion or misread the player, they just don't understand what's going on, these quarterbacks. You can see Peyton just going, just like, idiot, moron. You can see his head, his eyes are telling you everything. I mean, I just can't see Tom doing a color commentary every play, the whole game, and doing what Romo does. And the reason I mention Romo is because if he doesn't do what Romo does, everyone's going to say it's a failure. Because Romo now, to everybody's, in everyone's view, Romo is the standard. Okay? So they liked him predicting the plays and all that stuff. He got a good reputation for that. But they're also going to expect him to be kissing the butt of every player that's out on the field. Tom isn't going to do that. And if he did, it's going to be very disingenuous. It's going to sound very strange, and it's just not going to hit right. I just don't think these guys who are the greatest of greats can do this stuff. I don't think it fits them. I don't think it's... I mean, my God, even Troy Aikman sometimes is very condescending towards these guys and very... Like, as a matter of fact, like, he's just fed up. And that's Troy. I mean, I'm not saying Troy's a scrub. He's a Hall of Famer, 3 championships and all that. But he's not Peyton. He's not Brady. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I think that Tom's having doubts about it. And Tom's not going to do anything that he can't be the best at. He's not going to humiliate himself. And... he's got a million business ventures. I know that Fox threw a lot of money at him, but he can make money in anything else. Like, he's already doing a ton of crap. So I just don't know. I have my doubts about whether we'll ever see him commentating, and I honestly, I'm not sure I want to see him doing that. I don't know. Joe Montana never did anything like that. And that also kept Montana in this kind of mysterious realm where if you got to see him talk football, it was a big deal. It was special. So I remember, just even in the 2000s, getting to see Montana talk about football or seeing him at an event or something was a big deal. While his peers were always running their mouths on TV and blah, 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 and you saw them everywhere, and it was just oversaturated all the time. I'm not sure I want to see Tom, commentating for all these little punks on the field all the time and talking them up and stuff. It's just, I don't know. I just don't think that's going to sit well with me, so... But that isn't my personal opinion. Has that to do with my feeling about him doubting it. I think he might be doubting it. So we'll see. Okay, we'll see. But okay, did we finally get the Raiders pick? Brock Bowers, tight end for the Raiders. Okay, so they got an offensive target for a quarterback that they don't have. So we'll see what happens there. All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go. for now, but we'll start getting back on here and talking, getting ready for the season. Hopefully some more interesting news happens and soon. But I'm glad to be back talking with you guys again. I really appreciate all you being here. 50 viewers, I really appreciate it. It's very, very nice of you guys. Could you do me a favor before we leave here? Could you click the like button for me? We have 50 viewers and only 20 likes, but I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And okay. So pretty soon I'll try to give a breakdown on and some more information about how the documentary is going for the GOAT quarterbacks and all that. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. I really appreciate you. And I'll talk to you soon.
This is the man with the most badass name in sports, the Pharaoh, the Egyptian god himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And on behalf of my man Von Allen, we want to thank you for your support. Let's fucking go.
Von Allen Sports.